Hi everyone and welcome back to another masterclass. Today we are going to be doing the 5 best comps to climb with on the TFT patch, which is currently 14.10b. I'm Upsetmax. This is another TFT masterclass by Fit Gamer, and make sure to join our Discord channel and sign up for the Cloud9 raffle by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's get straight into the 5 best comps to climb with right now on the current patch. So on this patch right now, we have 4 standard comps, which means we are playing around like 4 costs or 5 costs and 1 reroll composition. The 4 standard comps are going to be Sage, Mythic, Lillia, Sniper, Warden, Ashe. So these are 2 newly buffed compositions that are in today's meta. Vertical Duelist has been around for a while, however it's changed in regards of how to play it. So we'll talk about how to play the new Vertical Duelist, and then Irelia for Dragonlord legendary board is very strong. Our one reroll comp is going to be the Ghostly Zyra / Zoe board, and I'll be talking about how to reroll that effectively as well. So today we're just going to be talking about these 5 different comps. This will hopefully help you out on the new B patch, and this will hopefully help you net some LP and get you some nice wins. At the very end, we'll do a quick recap and a Q&A for anyone who is watching this live. Okay, so we'll get started with the Sage Mythic Lillia composition. So this is a level 8 magic damage comp revolving around these 3 main units, so Lillia, Morgana, and Nautilus. These are all 4 costs. Since this is a magic damage composition, and also just due to our holders and items, it requires a good amount of rods. So if you have a rod opener, then this is definitely a composition that you can angle. This is going to be your default AP composition for standard comps in right now's meta. So this is our level 8 magic damage composition that will be defaulting based off of our opener if it's a magic damage opener. And last but not least, we require shred, some sort of shred, either spark or shiv in this comp. We have a couple new buffs coming to this composition, or that has come to the composition. So Mythic, the base AD and AP has been increased at all breakpoints, and then also the main thing that brought this composition back into the light, or I guess into the light because this is a new composition, is the Lillia targeting pattern. Essentially, TLDR, Lillia will now try to target multiple enemy units with her cast, which just increases her overall DPS output based off of her new improved AI. So this is what your level 8 board is going to look like. Positioning wise, you want to position Lillia on the opposite side of the enemy carry, so then you'll try to hit the enemy cornered carry just by hitting as many units as possible. This is just how her programming will work, so make sure to try to opposite side Lillia with the enemy backline. Your best in slot, because we are running 2 Invoker, we are going to be wanting to build Shojin. So all you have to remember is 2 Invoker, you're going to be building Shojin. The mana breakpoint works out perfectly. But if you're doing 4 to 6 Invoker, then you will want to be not building Shojin and going either blue buff or Helm. So this is the rule that you need to follow. Don't mix these up. Don't be building blue buff in 2 Invoker, and don't be building any Shojin in 4 to 6. So that is the first main item of the Lillia BIS, and then the other 2 are just going to be AP items, so some mixture of like Rabadon's, Jewel Gauntlet. If you have Jewel Gauntlet, then Guardbreaker becomes a lot better because you have crit already. You can build Helm, not even just as a mana item, but just for like any AP, just for like AP damage. Archangel's also very good, Gunblade and Nashers, because we have that Shojin. So my favorites and best performing the stats I believe right now is Rabadon's plus Jewel Gauntlet. So I would stick to these if you can, but that is a lot of rods. So if you do not have a lot of rods, or even an augment that gives you a rod like Magic Wand, then just make whatever you have. Morgana BIS is a little bit easier. It's just any mana item, so either Shojin, blue buff, or Helm, plus healing reduction is either going to be red buff or Morello. Those are the main 2 backline units we're going to be itemizing. In our frontline, Alawi is going to be our main tank. So we are going to be wanting to put gargoyles, wanting to put any like Crown Guard, Helm on her, Redemption, Declaw, Bramble, these are all fine. And then any mana items such as Vow on our Nautilus to try to get that early cast ASAP. We have 1 flex unit in this composition. Because we're going to be establishing this on level 8, we will not always be hitting the Wukong. If we hit the Wukong, then that is perfect. That activates Heavenly, gives us some HP and attack speed for the entire board, and then also our 3rd Sage, which is very good, gives us this AP for our backline carries. However, if you do not have the Wukong, then just play a flex unit, either play like a Soraka 2, Zyra 2, and then if you hit an Annie or an Ornn 2 in the front for your front line on your roll down, especially if you're winning like 2 out of 3 items on your Alawi, then the value of Ornn increases a lot to get that 3rd item. Of course, once you hit Wukong, then you can just substitute it out. Once you go level 9, you can fit in Recon, and that is your board. So best of slot augments to go along with this composition. Any Sage or Mythic Crest / Crown is very good. Sage Crown, you're able to hit 5 Sage then on level 9. Also, if you have your Mythic Crest and Crown, you can even then opt into playing 7/4, so 7 Mythic, 4 Invoker. That fits if you have a Mythic +1, and if not, then you'll just most likely be playing this version of the Lillia board. Jewel Lotus 3 is really good in this composition. Then that way you don't have to build Jewel Gauntlet. You could build like a Gunblade, or you could build like a Guardbreaker instead. Stand United, we are activating a lot of traits here. So this is one of the comps where Stand is actually quite good. Magic Wand, just giving everybody AP, which is very good. And also one of our rods that we need, either for Rabadon, Jewel Gauntlet, either from Reroll or for like a Spark. So this comp can use infinite rods. Unified resistance basically is just very good. None of our traits gives us resistances, and we have HP from Mythic, we have DR from Warden, so getting extra armor magic resist is very good. Combat Caster is just one of the best performing combat augments right now. Shock Treatment, that saves us needing to get any shred, and also just gives us the full like shiv, which is good. And then Martyr as last but not least as our best in slot augments. So that is this comp. Give it a try. Definitely very good, and is your default AP level 8 board on this current patch. Okay, so that was our default AP comp. Now we're going to move on to our default AD composition. This is going to be our newly revamped Ashe comp. So instead of Porcelain Invoker Ashe, now we are going to be playing Sniper Warden Ashe. As you see here, there has been a lot of buffs over to snipers at all breakpoints, which increases the sniper damage per hex. And then also Warden got a buff, so now it has more damage reduction at the start of combat, going from 15 to 18. And then also the base DR has been increased as well at 4, starting at 4 Warden. This is going to be our level 8 physical damage composition, and instead of rods, now we are going to be needing a lot of bows in this comp. Because we are AD, we are going to be needing Sunder instead of Shred. So here's our traits, Warden and our Sniper, and then Ashe is going to be our main carry. Remember that Ashe, her damage, or I guess her ability scales with Rage Blade, so the more auto attacks you have, the more arrows you will shoot, which means more damage, which is why we want to be building attack speed items and scaling attack speed such as Rage Blade on her. So that is an intro into the Sniper Warden Ashe comp. This is what your board is going to ideally look like on level 8. Very simple. We have 4 Wardens in the front line and 4 Snipers in the back, where Ashe is our main carry, holding our last Whisper, our Rage Blade +1. That +1 is going to be either Infinity Edge, which is best, but secondary like Deathblade is also very fine. And if you scout around and you see a lot of enemy boards that have backline access, so if you see a couple Lillia players, a couple Morgana players, then you could definitely build that Gunblade to help out your board and to keep your backline alive. So that's going to be our main carry in the back. In the front line, our main carry is going to be Alawi holding our frontline items. Now remember, Alawi is a frontline tank unit that utilizes AP quite well, so make sure that you can make sure you're building like your crown guards, your helms on her, as that increases her shield and her healing, and then just base like tank items like Gargoyle, Bramble, Declaw. Amumu is going to be beside the Alawi, hopefully with a redemption, so then not only does Amumu cry onto the Alawi, healing her, he will also heal her with the redemption. And then we have our Nautilus and her sets. If we don't have set, then we could just play any other Warden, like Jax is fine, and then Nautilus will hold our mana items. You want to make sure you're positioning Ashe on the opposite side of the enemy carry. Remember, you are snipers, so the farther you are away from the units you are attacking, the more damage you will deal. And then on level 9, you will fit in a Syndra to activate 3 Faded and Arcanist for your board. And then for your Faded, unless you have Syndra items, you will just be linking the Aphelios and the sets. Because a 2-star Aphelios with 3 Faded, 4 Sniper, and then maybe even like 1 or 2 items will actually deal a decent amount of fights, or a decent amount of damage in your fights. So this is what your base level 8 board is going to be. Once we go level 9, we get that Syndra in here, and then best of slot augments to go along with this composition. Longshot and Spirit Guardians used to be, I believe, 2 of the worst augments, but now they're like 2 of the best augments, especially for this comp. Longshot, that gives your snipers extra attack speed and a sniper's focus once you complete the augment. And then Spirit Guardians gives us a good amount of wardens, and also is very good against enemy carries or enemy boards that have backline access, as that will reduce the damage on our non-wardens and evenly distribute it across our frontline wardens. So very good augment, Sniper Crest / Crown. That way on level 9, on level 8, if we have Sniper Crest, then we are able to drop our Senna and then just play Syndra and put the sniper crest on Syndra. And then once we are level 9, it is actually better to get in that 6 sniper and then just play a Kog'Maw. You could sniper your Nautilus, hence where the meme sniper Nautilus memes come from, or sniper your sets depending on what item slot is available. And then 6 sniper is extremely good. It gives all your snipers 2 extra range, and being able to attack from even farther means they'll do even more damage because they are farther away. So that's why sniper crest / crown is very good pumping up, because we just need infinite attack speed on our backline carries, especially Ashe. And then any defensive augment like Martyr, Unified is very good. Harm assist to survive against those Lillias and Morganas, tiny but deadly, because we are a auto attacking composition, so the attack speed is very nice. And then inspiring epitaph, although nerfed, is still a good augment. So that is how you play the Sniper Warden Ashe board. This is going to be your level 9, and then it caps out around set 2, and then you can put some bruiser items on set just as QS, BT. These are both fine. Okay, so moving on, now we have our first melee composition. So this is going to be Vertical Duelist. This is going to be a level 8 physical damage composition that requires a lot of swords. So Mythic Lillia, if you have a lot of rods, you're going to be angling Lillia. If you have a lot of bows, you're going to be angling Ashe. But if you have a lot of swords, then you could be angling Duelists. This is going to be your default melee composition over the Kayn Lee Sin. So Heavenly Kayn Lee Sin is definitely outshadowed by Vertical Duelist now. And then for requirements, this is going to be a tempo composition that requires Sunder. So the reason why we say tempo is ideally you're not going to be pivoting into Duelists. You are going to be playing Duelists throughout the game, tempoing, having high HP, and being able to punish low roll boards, and then trying to get level 8 for that Lee Sin and hopefully try to get that one Irelia. So that is an intro into the Vertical Duelist board. I think one thing to note, this is a pure damage trait, so it just is stacking attack speed on your attacks, and then once you hit that 6 breakpoint, then your Duelists even have 12% DR, or damage reduction. Lee Sin is going to be our new main carry, as I saw from the previous page, and he will be holding our bruiser items, and now Volibear is going to be holding our tank items, and Tristana is holding our Irelia items. So it's no longer that level 7 reroll for that Tristana 3 or Volley 3 that is now gone. The goal now is to tempo, play that early game, play around that Darius, try to get the 4 Duelists in with Umbral, tempo up, get to level 8, get that Lee Sin on your board with 6 Duelists, and then try to find that Irelia. And then you once from there, you want to go level 9 to 2-star legendaries, and that is your plan. Now, a lot simpler than just explain just like that. So going more into it, this is going to be your high roll version of your level 8 board, and the high roll version includes hitting both the Wukong and the Irelia, but this is not always the case. So if you do not have Wukong and Irelia, which is perfectly fine, you are going to be wanting to play some mixture of heavily units or just like strong units on your board. So like Malphite Yorick is fine. Malphite will give you heavenly, give you more resistances and some attack damage from having heavily activated from the Kiana, and then Yorick will give you Umbral because you will be playing a Darius over this Irelia. Once you have your Diana though, once you have your Wukong, then you are able to play your Diana instead. This way you activate your Sage, but without Sage activated, then Diana is just not that good. Dragonlord gives you attack speed, but you already have an insane amount of attack speed from Duelist itself. Regarding positioning, this is generally how you want to position. Volibear is your main tank, and then Lee Sin is holding your bruiser items, and then you want to ideally have your Lee Sin on the ends, so he's not getting CC'd by a lot of things in the middle, such as like a Nautilus. And regarding positioning, this is going to be our strong side. So strong side is having like our main carries, our Tristana same side, Lee Sin strong side, and if you are against an AoE opponent, so scout around, if you see a lot of Lilias in your pool, then you want to be same side the Lillia, because the Lillia is not able to like single target burst or drain tank melee carries, and then that way you're able to get pierced through like their Alawi 2, and then Nautilus technically is not like a tank, he's just like a frontline unit that CCs, so he actually is able to die quite easily, and then you want to get to the backline and kill that Lillia. However, if you are against single target damage, then you want to be opposite side. So this is comps like Syndra. Although Syndra is not that great in the meta right now, Syndra is very good at beating these melee compositions because she is a burst single target damage carry. So if Syndra is on this side, then we do want to swap over and then swap sides. So then our Lee Sin is not getting hit right away and killed right away. So that is how you want to position your duelists. So that is now the new plan for Duelists, and then best install augments to play with this composition. Duelist Crescent Crown. It spikes your early game so hard because you're able to get 6 Duelists in without Lee Sin. So you don't even need a 4-cost unit to get your 6 Duelists online, and that is when you are able to win streak mid game very hard because of the DR and just the overall stats. Keepers is extremely good in this composition, giving your non-frontline pseudo-frontline tankiness, because our frontline here is our damage. So then in this case, you would just clump up your entire board in the first and second rows. So you would put like your Johnny here, and then if you want to keep your Aurelia a little bit safer, then you can just put your Aurelia here. But Keepers is very good, giving your whole team a shield. Fine Vintage is very good as well, giving your board support items. And then in that case, if you have Fine Vintage, you'll only be prioritizing Lee Sin items and then playing around your support items. Extended Duel, Unified Resistance, just any combat augments is crucial in this board. So those are the augments and how you want to be playing the new vertical duelist. It crushed over the recent NA tactician trials, so definitely give this a try if you have swords and a melee tempo opener playing around that Darius and duelist. Alright, moving on, we have a level 9 legendary 4 Dragonlord board. So this has been around for a little bit, it's still extremely strong. Play this from a tempo start, or if you have like some sort of econ augment / regent, so like Epic and Slammin are going to be your two main cases of playing this board. Allows you to reach level 9 a lot easier. Scuttle Puddle / Crab Rape, giving you that econ to hit level 9, same with Zoe and Kha'Zix. Basically anything that is just like very tempo wise, able to hit level 9 and then hit your legendary units. Aurelia is going to be our main carry, holding red buff, Runons, and either Guardbreaker or a Gunblade. These are both fine. And Azir is our secondary, holding our backline AP items. Really strong board. The 4 Dragonlord stun is very good, especially into stacking boards such as Ashe. It interrupts her Rage Blade, and it's just very good if you're able to get to this, but make sure that you have one of these in order to help you get to that level 9 roll down. All right, and here we are onto our last comp of the day. Today, we are talking about the one reroll composition is going to be Ghostly Zyra / Zoe, and it's Zyra / Zoe just depending on what you hit. This is a new comp due to a lot of buffs over to Aatrox, Zoe, and just to Ghostly in general, going from 6 to 5 for instances of the Ghost spawn. This is going to be a level 7 magic damage reroll composition that requires Shred. So we have been playing around Ghostly for a while. We know that Ghostly is a support trait that allows us to do a lot more damage, and it's not just the Ghostly units who are able to proc this, it's everyone, which is why we will be carrying either the Zyra or the Zoe. And then Zyra had a buff pretty recent to her where basically the Vine Lashers, the speed was increased for their missiles, so now she is actually able to crank out damage quite well. This is what your board is going to look like. In the front line, we have our Riven Aatrox allowing Shen, where Shen is going to be our main tank. We're going to be trying to 3-star our Shen and putting 3 tank items on him, with our secondary tank being Alawi, holding our Redemption and holding our Spark. And our backline, Zyra is going to be a main carry, but since we are rolling on level 7, if you do end up hitting Zoe 3 first for some reason, then make sure you sell your 2-star Zyra, find some replacement, and then put the items on your 3-star Zoe instead. The way we want to be constructing this board is going to be stabilizing first on level 6. This is either going to be on 3-2 or 3-5. And then once we have a 2-star version of this board, so in this case, you would just like not play, you would just not play the Morgana, and then you would just play like 3 Ghostly and then have this, or it's just depending on what you hit. But once you mainly have your Zyra 2 and your Shen 2 with some supporting units, then you are able to slowly econ back up to level 7, because that is when we want to be slow rolling for this board. And as you see here, the odds are not too skewed. Once we go level 7, then yes, we drop a little bit for our 2-cost odds. However, our 3-cost odds increase as well, which will allow us to hit the Zoe and the Alawi. And also just the overall strength of our board increases a lot by going level 7, because that allows us to find Morgana a lot easier. And she really pieces the board together by giving us 2 Sage and our 4th Ghostly. Spark or Shiv is required in this composition, either Spark your Alawi or Shiv your backline Zoe or Morgana. In this case, you do not want to be shiving your Zyra, because she is going to be basically our solo backline carry. On solo carries, it is not okay to be putting like Spark or Shiv on them. However, if you have multiple carries in the backline, then it's fine to put Shiv on your carries. Last but not least, healing reduction is not that important in this composition for two reasons. Number one, Zyra already heal reductions / wounds her targets, and then also Ghostly is a very like single target heavy burst composition. When a enemy unit has a lot of specters on them, they're basically going to be getting popped once they're being hit, regardless of how much they heal. So that's why healing is not as important compared to like an AoE composition like the previous. If you ever play like the Silas Sage, where you're not doing too much burst damage, you're just doing a lot of AoE like DPS, then that would give the enemy a chance to heal back up, which is why Morello or heal reduction is very good in that comp. So here, don't worry too much about getting that Morello on the Morgana or that red buff. It's okay to prioritize other items. And then on level 8, after you hit everything on level 7, you can either play a Diana for another Sage, some Behemoth to buff up your Shen, or even a Wukong if you're able to high roll that. This is what your final board is going to be looking like, at least on level 7, and our best in slot augments, 2 healthy. We have an insane amount of 2 costs here, so we're getting a lot of 2 healthy value, almost 400 HP across our board. Haunted House got a recent buff over to Ghostly. They're able to send out more Spectres now, Ghostly Crest, and then here we go, Magic Wand, Sage Crest are fine, and then basically we have a lot of combat augments specific to this composition. So like Featherweights is very good. Jewel Lotus 3 allows us to just build our best in slot Zyra, which is going to be Shojin Nash's +1 AP item. And then just Shock Treatment, Combat Caster, Martyr, Stationary Support. These are all very good combat augments that will boost the power of our board as well. One last thing to note, we will be going Blue Kale because we have a lot of our backline AP carries. So giving that extra 20 AP over to them, especially early, is quite significant. Very last thing for this composition, the way we want to be positioning our ghostly units to really maximize the effectiveness of the specters is going to be having like a strong side of our board and opposite to the enemy. So over here is where like our enemy board would be. So that way, the way our units are attacking and being attacked is, at least for the front line, the ghostly specters will all go in this area, which Zyra will be attacking, as opposed to like if we split up everything like Alawi here or Aatrox here, then the specters are going like all over the place, and then our unit or the enemy unit that our main carry is attacking wouldn't hold all of them. So this way it basically just kind of make sure that whatever our main carry is attacking is going to be a unit that has a lot of specters on them. That way we're able to efficiently and effectively go throughout the enemy board, just one-shotting units at a time. All right, so that has been everything for today. Today we talked about the 5 best comps to play on the current patch 14.10b, where we have 4 standard comps: Sage, Mythic, Lillia if we have a lot of rods, our default AP composition; Sniper, Warden, Ashe, our default AD composition where we need a lot of bows; Vertical Duelist, our default melee composition if we have a lot of swords and a tempo duelist opener; and then our level 9 4 Dragonlord, our really carry legendary board. We had one reroll comp that we talked about today. Is the new Ghostly composition, playing around that 4 Ghostly and either that Zyra or Zoe in the backline, and our Shen 3 tanking in the front line. So that has been everything for today. That was the recap. Now we're going to do a Q&A for anyone that is in the live masterclass, and that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.